can bullshit for a minute. What you been up to?
My fucking leg, man. I got my leg workout in on Thursday. My Thursday is my leg day. Not as great as I wanted to, but a lot better than I thought. Now it's not too bad. But my fucking hamstrings are so goddamn tight, and I can't. No matter what I'm trying to do, I can't. They're so constricted, and I can't loosen them up.
You obviously you stretch and do all that, right?
I'm trying to stretch. I can't. I just. Uh, I need somebody to put me in a position and force me in it because I pull back. I can't. Yeah. If I try to bend forward,
What's up, Jeff?
normally I'm able to relax, bend forward, drop my arms, touch my toes, no problem. If I try to do that, I'm lucky if I get a little bit below a 45-degree angle. I need to get down in a position. I need somebody to force me in there so I don't pull back. I just can't. It's better the last couple of days. It's still loosening up, but it's taking such a long time. What's up, Jeff? Hey,
Uh-oh.
Jeff, how's it going?
Hey Jeff, I think your audio is not working.
Yeah, your microphone's off.
Yeah, there's there's a little thing in your window there. You should see a microphone with a slash through it. There you go.
There we go. Okay.
Yep.
Hey, how's it
I
going?
got it. Good. Yeah, they can hear me.
I think
Good.
today was a blue shirt kind of day, huh?
Yeah, it looks that way. I got the memo.
Yeah, I wanted to say real quick, that reminded me, like, back when I had my car wreck, I had so much inflammation and my muscles were so tight from like my nerves just being fucked up. And I couldn't even sit flat on the floor with my legs out in front of me, like straight. I couldn't even sit up like with my back against the couch. That's how bad I was. And like,
Man.
yeah, it took over a year of massage therapy, yoga, hot Epsom salt baths, stretching on my own, invert chair, back roller. Like, I really had to work at it to get my flexibility back in my whole backside, and it sucked.
Crazy part about it, during my martial arts for over 18 years, I was extremely flexible, and I kept even though I stopped practicing, I kept a lot of my flexibility. But all of a sudden, and like I said, I need somebody to work on it. I need somebody to get me in a position and force me into it because I can't. I just when you feel a certain amount of discomfort,
Mhm.
you kind of pull back a little bit. Like I said, it's getting better little by little, but it could go a little faster.
Yeah, I hear you. Jeff, what's new, man? How's your day?
Not much, man. It's nice, man. Just hanging out, just relaxing, busy week. And, just going to watch the UFC fights here later and just chill out.
Right
How
on.
about
Yeah.
you? Yeah, you're going to make us all look bad because you got that post-workout pump, I can see. Jeez, man. Yeah, hey, you didn't tell me that. I would have did that before this video, too.
Go do some push-ups real quick. Yeah, it was crazy today, during my workout. Like, so, me and Michael were talking about creatine last episode or one before that. And, I still haven't gotten the creatine you want me to get, but I'm going to get it. But I use my salt trick, my poor man's creatine, and God, it just works so well. And I probably take more than 1.5 grams. Like, I probably take over 2 for sure. But, my blood pressure doesn't even change, and I drink a shit ton of water. So, but I get just phenomenal pumps. And then today's workout, I had a full body pump, just from doing legs and stuff. And these guys came up. I was walking around with my shirt off towards the end, and because they do that a lot at that gym. You know, there's a lot of bodybuilders at this gym, and everyone will go pose, and you know, there's
You
a
have
couple
posing room?
Yeah, we have a posing room, and then we have some mirrors that are like next to the garage doors. So when they open up the doors, we get the natural sunlight coming in, and that's even better than the pose room lights. So
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Natural light, man. You can't beat it.
dude, yeah.
Hey, Chris, since you brought up the creatine, and Jeff, I don't want to go into
Yeah.
my whole spiel about it. Those go back and check out the video. It'll give us another view. But one of the problems I think with biggest problem is that people are not using it, maximizing its use. What do you think about this? I told Chris we typically load for 5 to 7 days, 5 grams 5 times a day. Am I correct? That's the
Yeah. So,
recommended dose.
I mean,
And now, let me just finish this. And
uh-huh.
now, after that, they're telling you to go to the maintenance dose for 5 grams a day. The problem is that the loading phase, your muscles get saturated with the creatine. But once you go back to this maintenance dose, within 2 to 3 weeks max, your creatine levels are back down to baseline. So you're losing a lot of effect. In order to keep the muscles, to maximize effects, you want to keep the muscles saturated. And in order to keep the muscles saturated, you need to continually load. Bill Phillips himself even suggested way back when that people should take on a regular basis 20 grams a day. So what do you think?
Well, I've done it both ways. I've loaded and saturated and then did the maintenance thing. And then, I was, told from, a number of different people, Robbie Robinson, and other, professionals and stuff that, you can either do it, you can load it up like that in the beginning, or you can just take, 2 servings a day, consistently over time, and your muscles will get saturated over time instead of just all at one time. And then some of their thoughts were like, yeah, and then you're not wasting as much money because you're doing all that loading and you're going through it faster. Personally, I do on my workout days, I do like either 5 to 10 grams before my workout and 5 to 10 grams after my workout. And then on my non-workout days, I usually do a maintenance a maintenance dose.
Okay, so you're doing more than just a maintenance, but what the common, typical maintenance dose is. Because my argument is that if you don't keep a higher amount creatine, taking a higher amount of creatine, your muscles won't stay saturated.
Yeah. I mean, I constantly take it, whether I'm, taking a whole week off from the gym or, whatever. And I believe in the creatine monohydrate better because there was more research done on it, and if it's not broke, don't fix it sort of thing. Yeah. And it's cheaper.
I got a question for you, Jeff. So
yeah,
like I've always tried creatine throughout my life. It's been around for the last 20 years or at least more than that. It used to be called something else.
Right.
But and I've gone through phases where I used like 10 to 20 in a day, but I never noticed anything from it, never. And Michael says there's non-responders, and then the other thing that popped in my head was I not doing enough?
Yeah. Well, everybody's a little bit different in how they respond to things, and I've heard of that too. As far as people not responding, or you didn't get any kind of weight gain or any kind of strength increase or anything, no kind of muscle fullness or nothing. Yeah.
No, because I was sponsored by Jaro Formula for a while. I sent you a bunch of stuff.
I remember you sent me a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
And I had tubs and tubs of creatine, And they were just piling up because I would try it for a while, and then I was just like, I just don't notice anything, so I'm just not going to use it. And one of my questions to Michael in the other podcast was, I heard that it's hard on your kidneys. So like taking 20 to 30 grams in a day, is that not gonna? I mean, we're already taking all this protein,
Well,
like,
I'm going to go back to Jim Stepani. He did a post recently about the creatine, and he talks about it's nothing like you need to cycle on and off of, because we get it in foods, we get it in red meats that we eat and things like that. And, there's a lot of good reasons to be taking it, especially people who have epileptic seizures, recovery reasons, strength reasons, there's a number of different reasons. But I listened to what he had to say, and I feel like he's pretty knowledgeable on the up and up, as opposed to some people in the industry. And he's collaborating with Milos right now, Milos Sarcev. That's just what I seen his video he posted, and I thought it made a lot of sense, because I've never cycled off of it. I constantly take it maybe before a show.
Go ahead. I'm sorry,
but maybe for a show, just because of being careful not to hold any kind of water, definitely usually cut it out for sure. And I've done both. I've actually back in the day, this was when I was younger, but we've experimented both, and I've even loaded with creatine before a show, because they talked about that before. This was back in the early 2000s, and it worked great. It filled me out. It didn't make me hold water. And my thing is if you're looking the way you're looking and you're not holding water and you're taking creatine, probably not making you hold water, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. For me now, just sometimes being a little bit paranoid, you want to take certain things out. Like, most of the time I'll take the creatine out just because, I want to be on the safe side. But I've done both in the past, and I've gotten excellent results. I think one show I was a little bit fuller by doing that,
What I was going to say, I read a while back that in some research, creatine was very helpful in helping prevent various good for brain function, preventing some brain deteriorating diseases.
I could use more of that.
You heard the same thing, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And one thing I don't know is, Bill Phillips used to always talk about, take it with some kind of, grape juice or something that's going to help drive it into the muscles, faster too. And, maybe it was, were you doing it with some kind of grape juice or anything like that?
Well, you know what? Listen, I'm going to jump in on this one. I was telling Chris about that. I read up on the studies that were done. The initial studies with creatine. First off, they were taking the creatine with tea, a warm drink, because creatine is better in a warm fluid. And undissolved creatine could be what's causing a lot of distress. And people could complain about it with the stomach. Now, with the idea with the grape juice was it spikes the insulin levels. That's what led to these concoctions that came out. And studies showed that this insulin spike can help drive it into the muscles. But they didn't tell you that when they were doing the studies, they were taking the creatine first, then it calms about 20 minutes, a half an hour later. Because
okay, I see what's
in the blood system. And then for some reason, when you're taking them together, you're getting that spike, but the creatine's not in the system where it could be driven into the muscles already. Yeah.
Okay.
So now they don't
be in the system
tell you that. They don't tell you that. They're gonna sell you a product, and go, okay, you take this now, and then this 20 minutes later. It's much easier to sell it when you put it all together. Take it all in one shot.
Right. Yeah. Yep. I mean, yeah, it makes sense what you said, 20 minutes after ingesting it, because it's in your system, and then, the grape juice or whatever you're going to use to help, drive that, and then plus you're getting ready to work out anyways, so you're getting that extra sugar, for your fuel also.
And I also think that ultimately, it's whether you get it in that quick after the workout, as long as it gets into the muscles.
Yep.
At
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Right. Right. Whether it's
All
dextrose or what's that?
So basically, what I'm concluding to is maybe I should just try it again, you know.
Yeah.
And I'll do. You think what, 20 grams a day?
Yeah, I would think doing 20 grams a day on your workout days and then 10 grams on your non-workout days, I think that would be, yeah, definitely good.
So now that I'm like trying to lose weight, that's gonna make my weight go up, huh?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's really going to make your weight go up that much, honestly. I don't think so, and if it does, it's just going to be some, little bit of, water, but it's not subcutaneous water weight. So, and remember, you got plenty of time. You're not even at 90 days yet. Quit stressing out. You look good. All you need to be concerned with is if you're getting leaner and harder, more vascular and denser, more hardness to the muscle.
And I am already. Like today, I was telling you, I could just tell when I woke up. But like at the gym, I'm just seeing new veins, new striations, and there was these two other bodybuilders were asking, like, hey, you getting ready for a show, or are you just like walking around looking freaky? And I was like, I'm gonna do the Legion in October. They both look at each other and they're like, what category? And I was like, well, believe it or not, I want to try classic physique. And they're like, they look at each other again, like, well, fuck. Well, I'm not competing then. And I was like, oh, come on, what are you talking about? And they said, dude. Then the other guy was like, I thought you were gonna compete in the 212s. Yeah. And I thought that was hilarious. I was like, I don't think I'm freaky enough for that, man. He's like, yeah, clearly you're not freaky enough.
They're talking about 212 in the pros because there's no 212 in, you know what I mean? So they must have thought you were a pro. And that show, is that show a amateur and a pro show? Because my friend Michael did it last year, Michael Spencer. Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
so that's probably what they thought because I think they have a 212 at that show.
Well, I told him, I was like, yeah, I haven't competed in 5 years, and they're like, they just couldn't believe what they were hearing. So I was, they said a couple more things, and I introduced myself, but that's like the fourth group of people who were like at my gym. There's nothing but bodybuilders, and I'm probably the best looking guy in that whole gym.
Right.
I'm very modest about anything, about myself.
Right. Yeah.
So
no, I believe you, man. Yeah. Good looking guy, got a good physique, can vacuum. I mean, shoot, what more do you want? You have no weak body parts, man. Everything flows with you. You don't have one body part that really outdoes the other body part. Everything flows pretty even, and it'll get better as you dial in more and lose more body fat and all that.
I'm so excited for that, man. I just want to fast forward to like a month out.
What's crazy about you is in your side chest, you appear so much taller in that pose than you really are. Yeah.
I think it's just because I really know how to send. You gotta send your chest up and really get your get it elevated.
Your chest lifted. Talk about that shelf to sit that glass on.
And and we this is something we can segue into is posing. I'd love to talk about posing.
Right.
I think
a lot of guys. I'm sorry. I think a lot of these guys don't even hit it right. They hit it. It's like a cross between a side chest and almost the most muscular. They turn too forward.
Yeah, they're doing. I don't know. It's not even a side chest. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, I think because they're so big now. I don't think they can really do a side chest correctly.
And Arnold was huge. I mean, well, he wasn't as huge as these guys, but he would really just, I could learn from looking at his pictures, because every single side chest you ever see him do, he had it
that rib
locked
cage.
in, the
That
rib
rib cage
cage,
lifted, and he
everything.
had it
And like,
pulled in real tight.
what's
One
that?
thing that a lot of people don't realize is, Lee Haney explained it when he was working with Mac Charles. I seen him in a video on Instagram. I don't know if you've seen it a while back, and he was coaching him. And what he was talking about when you do the side chest is you create that vacuum, of course, that slight vacuum, but then pull your arms in real close to your stomach, because that's going to create even more of a smaller waistline. And a lot of guys aren't doing that anymore.
Yeah, and like what I do for me with my body, like when I set up my legs, I sit on, get them ready. I get I suck in my vacuum right there. Everyone sees me doing it. And that's when I bring my arm in, and where my palms rest is right under my rib cage. And if I'm vacuuming enough, I can get it under and in there.
Yep. Right.
And that's when I know I'm hitting it right. And then I just got to remember to just keep that, the shoulder and back up.
Right. Exactly. One thing in the side chest that I don't see a lot of anymore, and that's consistent with me and, Chris, my workout partner, and, some other competitors, is the serratus showing in the side chest. That gives the side chest a whole different look. And you're not seeing that much anymore, especially for these guys that have these giant ass arms and you can't see nothing, but you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous, But that's one thing definitely not seeing on the side. I even got that right now, off season, it's there, and it just gets sharper as the show gets closer and you do more posing and maybe a little bit of cardio, not a lot.
Right. One of the things that Jeff had me do, Michael, and we just started doing them actually, is planks. So holding 2 to 3 minute planks, and then it eliminates any shakes you could possibly have while posing, and then you can just sit there forever.
Yeah, not only that, it conditions every muscle in your body. Yeah, the thighs, the shoulders. It gives your whole body a different look. It makes everything more dense and hard, and then pulls that stomach wall in, because you work that more rectus abdominis that doesn't get worked unless you're doing exercises like planks or vacuums, things like that, So, man.
With that.
Yeah, it's consistency on that one, and that will bring you in like no other, and also the conditioning to be able to hold on stage too. Yeah, absolutely.
What's another pose you guys think people execute poorly these days?
Flat spread. They think they roll their shoulders way too forward, and you're actually taking away. You're losing some of the width of it.
The rear lat spread or the front?
The rear lat spread. They roll the shoulders too forward.
Yeah, that's.
And another one is the abdominal shot where the guys bend like way over, and they're covering up their chest a little bit, and I've seen, or they put their arms in super close or super wide, it's like there's no in between. I'm
not going to attempt the double arm one, because I can barely reach as it is. I'll do one.
Well, that's because you're all pumped up, man. Jeez.
Yeah, that's.
Ideally, what a lot of people don't understand is when you put your hands behind your head like this, you want to push pressure up against the back of your head to get your lats to tense up and pop out more. Not just putting your arms behind your head, but it's about creating tension. You want to always create tension when you're posing, and then if you have that 3D muscle, you're going to pop that much more. But it depends on how you're training to get that 3D muscle. If you're training to get that 3D muscle, because a lot of people aren't training and the right way, and they're not going to get that 3D muscle anymore. It's 1 second reps. It's not even emphasizing contractions. It's speed reps. It's like,
Yeah, no, I think working out, that was something me and Michael were talking about too, is just workout technique and form. It's like not many people these days execute technique or strategy. Like they have this idea of what they want to be or look like, but then the path to get there is all wrong.
Oh
And
gosh, man. I love when they put time under tension and they're moving 1 second reps, you know, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I guess you think that's time under tension, you know, but it's like, you know, they're not working out with much intensity. They're just pumping their muscles, you know, and of course they're going to, you know, get some muscle stimulation, but they're not going to get the density, the hardness, the muscle separation, the intricate muscles that the guys in the 80s and the 90s used to have clearly.
Maybe they see something like Paul Dillette and the kind of weight that he used, but he's a freak. He was able. There are very few people that will work out like that, and you see some of the light weights he used, especially with his arm workouts.
Mm-hmm. Right.
How many people can do that and get to look like he did?
No. I mean, you know, sometimes genetics, definitely makes it much easier for them to, you know, be able to maybe not train as, you know, efficient as they could, and they still get, you know, great results. But, you know, I mean, form is everything, and I think it's a lost art form. People aren't even focusing on it more. You know, the thing they're focusing on is big weight. How can if I can move this weight, even if I don't move it right, I'm going to stimulate muscle growth. You know, it doesn't matter how I move the weight, as long as it's just heavy, and you know, it's going to stimulate more growth. But they don't understand that.
As long as I'm tearing up my joints.
Yeah. As long as I'm tearing up my joints, let me wrap my elbows up, and I'll just wrap myself up like a mummy. And I did a max bench. That was all me.
Heavy is really a relative term.
Sure.
What's that?
It's you know, they have this. We all have different strength levels. You're heavy and my heavy and Chris's heavy can be three completely different things. You want
Right.
heavy within your strength level. You're not gonna try to use a crazy amount of weight because you don't think what you can handle or you should be handling is heavy. Am I making sense?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Everybody, you know, and they move weights differently. You know, I make lighter weights heavier, and when I say lighter weights, the average person, you know, it's probably not the way I train. It's probably not light. You know, but I'm just giving an example. I'm not like, you know, leg pressing 1,200 pounds. You know, I'm maybe leg pressing, you know, 500. You know, but it's the difference in the form that I'm using and how I'm setting up the exercises, you know, and how the muscles fatigue as I, you know, go through the workout, you know. And if when a new client comes in or a new person, even if they're, you know, think they're a veteran in the gym and they know everything, you know, they break down fast when I slow their movements down. I mean, they lose strength so fast and their face changes like, you know, they're frightened, you know. Because they're not used to their muscles aren't conditioned to moving slower like that, you know, because they've allowed momentum to come into their exercises for so long. Like Mike Mentzer said, you know, it's that outside force that takes away from our muscles as far as the load that's being put on our muscles throughout the exercise. You know,
training partners that were a bit stronger than me, but they didn't keep up with me. Was the way we were training.
Yeah.
They were actually stronger than me, but I'd wear them out because of the way we were doing it.
Yeah, the slower rest periods. If you didn't give them longer rest periods, they weren't as strong, and you were. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, but you know, everybody can. Yeah, right. Everybody can, you know, you can train and you can get the body to condition any way, but you just got to be consistent with it, you know. And, you know, even if you're one of those ones that, you know, don't normally take short rest periods and, you know, you take longer rest periods, you start doing it consistently enough and your strength will build up in that area. But, you know, it's all about being consistent and doing that over and over again, and and then the results will come.
Like,
Yeah.
I was I mentioned to you about. Are you Jeff? Are you up on other channels, the other social media?
I'm on
You know Nick.
Instagram and Facebook.
You know who Nick Trigili is?
Yes, I do. I know who he is very well. Yes.
Actually, I was telling Chris, my buddy John went up against him in an international qualifier. That he lost to my friend won his weight class. Nick was like super heavy. My friend was heavyweight. He lost to him in the overall. But have you checked out his channel at all on YouTube?
Is he? No, I haven't. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah. First off, Nick, if this gets back to you, as a bodybuilder, yes, you're 10 times better bodybuilder than I am. I'm not going to argue with you about that. But he has a little, give me a good word to use for his way of doing things, Chris.
Well, I'll just say he seems 110% sure about everything he says.
Right. Well, sensation. Since what I was looking for was sensationalistic.
Okay.
He's attacked quite a few big name people. He's accused a number of people in the industry, highly respected people, of running scams. One scam he's accused is Dave Palumbo,
Yes.
Dorian Yates, Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman.
Yep.
I can't remember what you were saying with Dave Palumbo and Ronnie Coleman, but with Dorian Yates, he went at him in two ways. First, he said that the aggressive sales pitch to get them there. Then he said, "There's no way that he's working with these people. He's making you believe that he's going to be working one-on-one with them, and there's no way that he can be." Who's joining us, Josh?
Yeah.
Hey guys.
And there's no way that he could
what's
be
up,
actually
Jeff.
training all these people. He responded. He found out that he wasn't happy with their sales approach with the marketing company they had to hire to handle that. But as far as the training thing, he says, yes, he does work with everybody one-on-one. Jay Cutler, he went after him, and Jay Cutler's probably the most loved guy. Josh, your camera's not on.
Okay, hang on.
Jay Cutler's probably the best ambassador ever for bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And he went after him about these cookie cutter routines that he's giving everybody. Everybody that goes to him is getting basically the same thing. I'm gonna get back to that, but what do you think about him going after all these very respected bodybuilders with these accusations of scamming them?
Yeah, I know who you're. A friend of mine on Instagram. He sends me some of his stuff sometimes. And I watch a little bit of it on YouTube, but I don't just go on there and watch it. He'll send me something and he wants me to watch that he said or whatever. I think there's some truth to a lot of the stuff he's saying. But then
Yes, I say he's not. Yeah. He does give some good stuff.
Right. Yeah, he's ruffling some feathers though, that's for sure.
Yeah. He's went after a lot of names for various things, and I think he's a little over the top. Right. And to call these guys, say these guys are running a scam, the con artists, I think that's really
That's a bit much.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Especially about Columbo, you know.
Well, I feel like with him, you know, for one, if he wanted to bring it up, he could be more respectful about it first and foremost.
Right.
But secondly, he only won one major title, right?
What was it, Mr.?
He competed in one pro show. I believe it's only one pro show.
He turned pro at the USA.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know whether it's the USA or the national that he turned pro.
I thought it was USA.
But he talks like he's a 4-time Mr. Olympia.
Right.
He refers to him as having a 20-year career as a bodybuilder.
Right.
Well, maybe he's been in it for 20 years. He started competing at 15, but I wouldn't call that whole amateur, refer to the whole amateur phase leading up to a pro as being a career. I associate a career with making money and such, and that's not the case.
Yeah, right. Once you turn pro and you're making money, you know, then, you know, that's different. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you say, I've been bodybuilding, you know, for so long, then that's different, you know. But, you know, to say you had a pro career for that many years, you know, when you didn't, you know, I mean, that's.
Yeah, nothing counts really when you're a novice.
Right.
Now, what I wanted to lead into, and this is directed towards you, Jeff.
Hang on, guys. Sorry.
Cookie cutter programs. He went to see what's going on, so he went through the whole process with the marketers selling him the program. Somebody else and compared them, and they're basically pretty much the same. Now, my thing is, it's one thing if you're working with someone that has experience, been around. If you're working with a newbie, somebody brand new, you have no idea how their body's going to respond to anything. The nutrition and the training were all different. So you can't. It's very difficult to design a specific program for that person right from the get-go. If they're an experienced bodybuilder, they can, and you start working with them, they can give you some feedback to start with. You can have the discussion, and when I do this, I get this response. When I do that, I get that response. Okay, let's try this approach. When you got somebody totally new, you don't know how the body's going to respond to anything. You have to have some sort of set base thing to start with. And then from there, you see how their body responds to the training, the nutrition you're giving them. And then you start making the adjustments. You got me?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody's different, you know. It depends on, you know, the recovery. That's where the big thing is, because everybody recovers differently, you know. Everybody's different. There's albinos that, you know, they can't lay out in the sun very long, and then, you know, someone that's olive complexed skin, you know, they can lay out in the sun longer and not get burned, you know. But everybody's different on their recovery abilities and you know, how much volume that they can handle at one time, you know, depending on their genetics and, you know, their makeup.
The nutritional program, the nutrition also, you know, we all respond to the food differently.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So is it cookie cutter? I mean, I think you have to start with a template, especially when you got somebody brand new, somebody with no experience. You start with a template, and then from there you just monitor, watch, and see where they go, and that's how you make your adjustments. So these 5 people might all start off almost the same, 2 months down the line, their nutritional and training programs, they all could look completely different. But you have to have something to start with.
Right, a base.
Josh, you
Yep.
train people. What do you think, man? How's it going?
I'm all crazy. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Welcome.
Good. What are we talking about here? Cookie cutter programs?
Yeah.
Well, we got to this. You heard of Nick Trigili, right?
What's that?
Nick Trigili?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, we were talking about he's a little sensationalistic. He's accused a number of big people in the bodybuilding world of running scams. One of them was Jay Cutler, and with Jay Cutler, that he was giving out cookie cutter programs. He got programs sent in from other people that signed up with Jay Cutler, and he signed up to see what it was, and they were all pretty similar. And like I said, you have to have a temp. Unless you're an experience, you're working with somebody with experience before, and they can give you feedback on how they respond to certain things. You need somewhere to start. So you have a template. So these 5 people might start almost exactly the same. The calories might be different because there's different sizes, but the overall structure might start off the same. But in 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line, it can be completely different. You need to have something to work with to start with. You got to see how everybody responds to the training, the program you're giving them, and to the nutrition, because we all respond differently.
No, I totally agree. I mean, personally myself, when I write my programs, everybody's different. I don't even start with the same template. I do everybody completely differently. And I can tell you right now, guys like Jay, guys like Simeon Panda, they're all relatively the same. I don't think there's really a discrepancy. And the thing about it is I feel like a lot of people don't even care, because they just are so revered to these people that that's what they want to look like. They assume the program they're giving them is going to give them the same results. And unfortunately, that's most people. Mm-hmm. So I always like to tell people that from the get-go, when I train them, this is not a cookie cutter program. This is customized specifically for you, your recovery, your training frequency, your your nutrition, your general work output. In terms of, if I got a guy that's working construction for 10 hours, I'm not going to give him the same program I'm going to give a person sitting at a desk for 9.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's completely different for them. They're going to have to consider that their recovery is very minimal compared to the person that's sedentary. So do I think Jay is giving out a lot of cookie cutter programs? Yeah, I do, because he's in it for making money. He's in it for the money business. And for him to sit down and write individual programs, he might have 1,000 clients. That's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. So I think relatively the templates are going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he has people doing it for him?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that almost like happened to me. I was talking to Lee Haney, online, going back and forth, and he was saying, "Yeah, man, I would like to coach you and this and that." And I said that I was amazed, and I was thinking in my head like, there's going to be a lot of money, but let's see where it goes.
Right.
And then eventually it just led to a guy he trained that he respects highly to train me at the end. Like he reeled me in. And I was like, and he's like, okay, by the way, this guy is going to train you, but I trained him. I was like, oh, and I didn't go after it after that, because I wanted to be trained by Lee Haney himself. I don't want something done by somebody else. So I mean,
yeah,
people are paying for Jay Cutler's coaching, and then someone else is doing it. Man, yeah, I wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
So what was the charge for that? Did you find out how much he was going to charge you, even without him actually doing it?
I want to say it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $400 to $600 a month.
Ooh.
For contest prep.
Yeah. Right. Damn.
I think it was a while ago. It was such a high number.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, right.
Right. Yeah.
Was it like a meal plan, or was it macros?
We didn't go into any details, Didn't even get that far, but he offered to coach me, and I got all excited, and then found out it was just gonna be somebody else. So
that sucks.
But I'll tell you what, we're working with Jeff is the best coach I could ever have, and I know I always say it, but ever since I started working with him, man, it's just going to other levels.
Well, I appreciate it, man. And you're completely a different body now, so this is different this time, and it's gonna be good. That last time, like I said, we just had 8 weeks. Now we got plenty of time, and Michael talking about having to get to know the client and the person that you're working with, so you can best meet their needs. And that's why we're starting out so early, even though I know you, I've worked with you before. It's been 5 years. A lot of things have changed in 5 years.
God, yeah.
So now there's got to be a little bit different approach. You're carrying more muscle, you're bigger. Everything's different this time. But I can't wait to see the finished product, man. Because I know you're going to put in the work. You always do. Because that's all it's about, man. That's in the work.
That's the easy part, bro. I look forward to
the eating's hard for me.
Eating? Yeah.
The training's easy for me. It's the eating, and the extra time to find for posing, when, your significant other is like, you're going to pose again. Sometimes you got to have that balance,
Also important that your lady supports you, which mine does.
Right.
The relationship I had before, I didn't get any of that support at all. As a matter of fact, it was when we were a week out from the Olympia. I had my last meal 5 hours ago that night, and she wanted me to drive her to Pub and Sub Pizza. It's an amazing pizza place. Remember? And
I remember that.
I should have said no, but I drove her, and I had to drive home with that fucking pizza in the car, and I was so hungry, and I was so mad at her, and I didn't talk to her for like a day and a half, But,
I don't blame you.
The cravings sometimes are real. Like, even with the diet you have me on now, like towards the end of the day, even like in between some of the meals, I'm fucking starving. Like at the end of the day, just having the 5 eggs and the scoop of peanut butter. I mean, it's real easy to make that scoop like.
Yeah, right. Now it's a tablespoon, okay?
Tablespoon. Got it.
Easy. My wife always, that is not a tablespoon. I'm all, it's off season, doesn't matter.
It fucks with your head when you're dieting like that. You remember Dorian telling a story about having a dream that he ate a whole package of sausages.
I had that dream the other night.
He had to run down to his refrigerator. Then he realized he never had any sausages in the house to begin with. But he tried it, and he woke up, and it's like, oh my God, I ate a whole package of sausages.
I did that a couple of nights ago. I dreamt that I ate a whole pizza, and I woke up in the middle of the night. I thought for a second. I was like, nah, that didn't happen.
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, that's good that you're, that's a lot of food you're eating right now, and you're still hungry like that. So that's, that's good. Stomach's handling everything all right, and feeling pretty good. Got good strength and energy in the gym.
Yeah, everything's perfect, man. Everyone's firing on all cylinders.
Good.
So
you said you're doing that Himalayan salt?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Josh does the salt too. I think you do the iodized sea salt.
Iodized, yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
And what you Josh, you do what, like 1.5 grams, 2 grams? What do you do?
Oh no, I do 4 to 5 grams a day.
What? Yeah. Before the workout, all at once.
So before the workout, about 1.5.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, but throughout the day, I just kind of distribute it little by little, and then keep drinking a lot of water. I find it really helps me.
Do you do creatine, Josh?
I was, man, and I'm gonna be honest. Like, I didn't like how I was looking.
Yeah.
I feel like my body's just so sensitive to it. I was just retaining a shit ton of water. I'm like, nope, I'm out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
wasn't. What's that?
I was telling these guys I never noticed anything from it.
Yeah, I didn't really notice a whole lot of strength gain, to be honest. It was just water. I was just holding water.
Wow. How much did you take when you did it?
It was just a 5-gram dose. Wasn't
Okay.
anything, but it's the monohydrate for me. My body, because I'm prone to thicker skin anyways. It kind of just really made that exaggerated.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about creatine for a while, but it's something I'm gonna give another go and just see how I look and what happens. But
well, I don't think you'll be as sensitive to it as I am. It's the damn Mexican thick skin genes I have.
You don't look like you have thick skin, bro. What are you talking about?
I know, right?
You stay pretty lean year round though. I say.
Yeah, I try to. I just what's that?
Like, what do you typically eat in a day for your year round diet? Because even though it's your off season, you're still lean as hell.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah, I just lately I've been doing a lot of carb cycling. That seems to work better for me. So on my low days, I'll have around 175 carbs to 200, 300 grams of protein, and typically, like I said, 65 grams of fat. And the higher days, I go up to upwards of 400 grams of carbs, just depending on how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling super drained from the training, I'll go the full 400.
Wow. Okay.
But I make sure my carb load days are leg days. Because my leg days are hell.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Jeff, when we were doing our last diet, I think, what was it, on leg days only, we would have beef or something like that, and we'd have carbs.
Well, I would have you do Kodiak pancakes, some 8 ounces of red meat, whether it's sirloin or ground beef, and then some peanut butter with some syrup. Yeah, absolutely.
Heck
No,
yeah.
this diet, I mean, this time around, it seems it's obviously different, but
yeah. Well, and then as you change, of course, the diet will change a little bit too, also. So
sure.
Like when like to give you an example, Chris, my workout partner, he was getting so lean that I cut his cardio out. I added more posing in, and I had him doing a cheat meal once a week, all the way up to about 2 weeks before his show, and he needed that.
Wow.
So everybody's different, and I only had him doing cardio for 20 minutes, 2 days a week, and
wow.
And that was plenty, you've seen him, man. He came in at like 3% body fat, and just full, and yeah. So
I'm gonna give you a heads up, okay? As soon as you think I can have a meal,
a cheat meal,
it's gonna be sushi. I'm already looking forward to it, man.
You gotta earn your cheat meal. It's only been a week.
It's been 5 years. Give me a break.
I know, man. I know.
You
just went to what do you call it? You just went to visit your dad, and you stayed on your diet when you were there.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
See, that's saying a lot when you're out of town visiting your parents and you stayed on your diet. That's good, man. Kudos.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
You guys all know how it is. You just gotta fucking do it, and no matter where you go, you gotta make it happen.
Hey, since we got Josh here, when are you doing your next show?
Me, it's kind of hard to say because I'm the kind of guy that likes to go in with laser-like focus, and which is everything going on in my life right now. Yeah, I feel like I'd probably give it like a 60% focus.
Right.
So I'm just trying to train to grow right now, and keep lean at the same time. And then eventually, when I pick my show, I'm going to go in full blast.
Yeah, right. No, I'm the same way, man. If I can't just focus 100%, and if you can't, there's no reason in doing it. If you can't come out your best at the show, no, I get it, man. I understand what you're saying exactly, and you do. You look, the main thing is that everybody always asks, "Are you getting ready for a show? Are you getting ready for a show?" I'm like, I'm always getting ready for a show.
Exactly.
I'm always trying to change. You know, I'm not working out not to change. You know.
Right.
So you know, so it's just funny that people say that all the time. You know. And then when you're ready to do a show, it's easy because you got that focus there, and you know you don't have other outside distractions. You know?
Don't even see I'm the old man. I'm just trying to keep my body from falling apart right now.
That's why it's been 5 years for me, because I mean, Jeff, me and you've talked all the time through that, and I didn't want to do it if my mind wasn't in it, and now, in that time I had a relationship end, I got married, and all kinds of stuff was going on, but finally, I feel like my life is grounded enough to where I can focus on that, and especially since my wife supports me with it. So.
It's gonna be great for you to have that support. Not only probably to help you prep your food, but just going into the show, with having that person there for you, and supporting you.
You know what else is cool this time around? So the gym I go to, Stimulus. Eventually, I'll get Jason on one of these podcasts. He's the owner of the gym.
Mm-hmm.
But he competes, obviously. He does classic physique, and
what division does he compete in? Classic physique? Is he like A, B? What is he? Is he taller? Is he?
Yeah, I think he's about 5'10".
Oh, okay. All right.
And me and him, we weigh almost about the same right now, which is funny. And but I just still think about getting to 185 is going to be amazing. But this is the first time I'm going to go to a show with a crew of people for like support.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like because
there's going to be a lot of them in the show, and then some in the audience too, right?
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
They'll be backstage. They'll be in the audience. One of the guys I know has a clothing company, and he only sponsors shows and stuff, and he's been, rooting me on. And everyone at the gym's just been like extremely supportive and enthusiastic about it. And
so are you going to get some sponsorship?
I mean, we'll see.
I know.
I speculate my homie Chris, who owns his company, wants to do that, but I think he's waiting for me to compete and, show that I'm serious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, he'll see that you're serious once you really start getting freaky,
Well, he already comes up to me every single time he sees me in the gym, and says stuff to me. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But if I could win my pro card from this show, that would be stupid amazing. But I don't expect that being my first time in the NPC. But that would make quite a fucking headline if I did.
Right. Well, we want you to.
It's a national qualifier, this show, right?
Yeah,
it should be. Pretty much all shows are national qualifiers anymore. Other people won't do them, if it's not a national qualifier, it seems like. So it seems like most of the shows, even that weren't national qualifiers, are going to national qualifiers just to get more business.
Yeah, this one's like, it's so big. It's like a convention. Like they're gonna have like.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. It's big. I know my friend that classic physique competitor Michael Spencer. He competed in it. What's his name? Rusty Jeffers. He competed in it. He's like in his 50s and looks phenomenal. He's got the old man, strongman mustache.
I know you're talking about.
Bald-headed guy.
Yeah.
He lives in Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah.
And, he's an hour away from me.
Okay.
Yeah.
You ever met him, Josh?
Rusty? Yeah, actually, I did. He's a super nice guy.
Yeah.
When my buddy was working at Freedom Fitness down in Cape Creek, Rusty was working there too, and I got to talk to him a little bit. Just really chill, super nice guy.
Right on.
Yeah, that's what my friends were saying when they talked to him backstage at that show. They were like, "Dude, he is so cool, man. Yeah, very humble guy. He said he's
very humble."
Yeah, right.
You know what's funny? I remember Michael's reaction, but. I met Phil Heath a couple of times, and everyone always said how much of a dick he was. but he was the nicest person to me I've ever met at a bodybuilding show of any kind. And he had a line, it went forever. And he did not rush me. He didn't act like anything else mattered. He was just in the conversation. Like, we talked for like probably 12 minutes at least, and that was like the first time I met him. And then when I met up with him again, he asked me how my back was doing, because it was after my car wreck, and I told him the first time what happened, and I was shocked that he even remembered.
Right.
Ever since then, man, like, Phil Heath is the coolest dude I ever fucking met.
Yeah, and right.
Do you think that, like, what he puts on is a facade, like his egotistical, front that he has?
I would imagine there's probably a degree of that, because like how it is when you're on stage, you gotta be like the champion. You gotta pretend you own that shit.
Right.
And perhaps he might come on a little strong with that. Who knows? I'm sure. Who wouldn't have a bit of an ego? Who's Mr. Olympia 7 or 8 times?
Yeah.
Is it healthy? Like, does he have too much? I wouldn't know. He probably could have handled himself better with, like, when haters were talking about him. I mean, when you're the champion, everyone's watching you under a microscope. So
that's probably the big thing. The way he responded to the people on social media. I think that's really what got people saying that about Phil. The way he handled himself, that he could have and he should have conducted himself differently.
Yeah, but whatever. I mean, it's all in the past, and he treated me good, so that's all that mattered to me. I mean, when I met Jay Cutler, he was more of a robot. He didn't really care to talk. So I was like, whatever, snap a picture.
That's the same thing I got with Jay Cutler too. He was more interested in my wife than he was me at the time.
Just pushes you aside. He's like, how you doing?
Yeah, he was all in to take a picture of me, and I'm like, hey, it's my turn. He's like, oh, here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
What's that?
I remember when I met him, though. It may be in his defense, but prior to that, there's these kids trying to break past the rope barriers for the line. And they like got through to his booth, and I remember there was a big commotion, but he was a little flustered after that, so that's probably why he wasn't in the talking mood. But I met him twice, and it was kind of the same thing each time. So.
Right, yeah, no, I hear you.
And I met Rich Piana. Rich Piana was he was kind of interesting.
Oh, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, it was just
a little bit of a narcissist.
Perhaps, maybe. Yeah, I didn't gather much from our conversation, but I remember when I met him, he was eating like a bowl of rice and hot dogs, and when he was holding it with his arm, like, I'm sitting there just looking at it, his arm. Yeah. I mean, it was like the size of my computer screen.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It was unreal how huge it was, but I mean, we all know it's filled with that jelly stuff or whatever.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I think he was doing it himself after a while. He wasn't. You know what I mean? I mean, just I don't know. It's just crazy. He was doing large amounts.
Well, it seems to be a big fascination these days, especially like in Brazil. You got those women walking around with the soggy diaper butts, and the Kim Kardashian. Yeah. She finally downsized her box, and but it's ruining bodybuilding too.
Right. It really is. I know, man. Big time. You
brought up Rich Piana. Is it synthol or something else?
Well, I think we all discussed it was something else. It was some homemade.
I think it started out as synthol, and then, it starts to get expensive, I think, and then they switch to other stuff, fillers or whatever it is.
You guys seen that one guy from Brazil? He's like this really old guy. He's like skinny, but then like his chest is gigantic, and
Yes,
these water
he's got
balloon
the
things.
yes, he's got the beard. Does he have the beard? Is that the guy with the big saggy arms?
I am shocked he's still alive.
Yeah,
And that he
right.
still has his arms and shit. Like, you remember that Russian kid, right?
Yeah, I remember they took his whole muscle, man, just shaved it right off, man. Looked horrible, like the stick figure.
I mean, he looked bad before, but now he looks really bad.
Really bad. Oh yeah, it's sad, man.
He had some complications from that shit. He had some major surgery on his arm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was taken to an emergency. He's in Russia, from Russia.
Yeah, he almost died. I think he
was taken to an emergency room.
Yeah.
To get emergency procedure.
I think not only does it kill off all that tissue there, but I think doesn't it leak into your bloodstream or something like that?
It's cardiovascular. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's part of the thing that killed Rich Piana too. Also, they did some, they talked about it or whatever. I mean, obviously it was a number of different things, I'm sure.
I heard Piana was on meth.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me.
Let me tell you something. A lot of these
they call him Don Moger.
Yeah.
He's another one that completely blew me away. I was like, "Whoa, are you serious?" Everybody has their demons, though.
He just took his body, all his opportunities, and just shit on it.
I know. It's crazy,
But Rich Piana, there's no doubt about it. A lot of these videos that I watch with him, he's wired out, totally wired.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he's on, but you could, you know what? I've been around. I'm 59. I'll be 59. Been around the block. What I didn't do, I saw. He's wired on something most of the time.
Yeah, right. I remember when I met him.
Just pre-workout.
I remember when I met him. He was wearing like contact lenses to make his eyes look all weird. But I remember looking into his eyes for a second when I shook his hand, and I think it was like a very aware look. Like, remember the comparison would be like, you guys remember how like Hulk Hogan would be in his interviews?
Oh yeah.
Remember, his eyes were just
his
eyes,
yeah, like big, yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. Like, he was looking at me like, man, yeah, nice to meet you.
Right. Like the Macho Man, Randy Savage, those guys.
I think they were all on cocaine back in the day.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah. Oh yeah. Crazy lifestyle.
Since you mentioned Columbine Moga, since he's been out of the hospital, you heard what happened with him, haven't you? He had a wreck with his truck.
Yep.
Since he's been out of the hospital, from jumping through the windows and all that stuff.
The big problem is he was in court. He appeared in front of a judge. I'm not sure what charge this was. I think there were numerous charges. I'm not sure which charge he was appearing for, but he was fined and he was supposed to go into rehab. That was part of the agreement. This accident happened days after his court appearance. So obviously, he didn't go into rehab. Or he went into rehab and he checked himself out. Nobody's in rehab for 3-4 days, then back out again.
Right.
The way it looks, I don't think anything is really going to, unfortunately, I don't think anything is going to change with him.
Probably not.
Yeah, there was one incident where, before that incident happened where, he was in a coma, that he had some road rage and wherever they ended up pulling over and he pulled a machete out on the guy.
Oh, yeah.
But you would think after he hurled himself out a window, exactly why only he knows, but he was in bad shape. He had spine surgery. He hit rock bottom. Like I was saying, talking with Chris about this, once you hit rock bottom, there's either you can pick yourself up and arise, or after rock bottom. And obviously, this hasn't changed his mindset because he didn't stay in rehab. And I don't know all the details, whether he was under the influence or anything when he had this this wreck with his truck. But he did not stay in rehab. That tells me nothing's changed, and unfortunately, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think we've all known people or have had friends who go down that path, and a very small percentage ever pull themselves out.
Super small.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Mm.
I mean, that's meth is the one drug you always hear people tell you never try.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So
I mean, you hear about other ones like, yeah, try it once, you got to do it, but meth.
Yeah. Right.
That's
yeah,
the one they say never do.
No. I like my teeth. You know. I like my health. Yeah. I'm good.
I like my teeth.
Yeah. Oh,
It's sad because the guy had everything going for him. He was probably making a lot of money with through his social media. Didn't even have to compete or anything, just through social media. And look where he is now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hey, so not to get everyone excited, but Michael, how likely you think Greg will get back to you?
Oh, I reached out to him a couple of times. I think yesterday or day before yesterday, and today. But I'm gonna contact George.
Yeah.
It might be easier to get a hold of him through George and see what happens. George. I'm talking about Mr. G. You know, everybody know what I'm talking about. Mr. G.
George. No, who is that?
George Small. He's part of the Whack Pack with the Dave Plummer, the After Hours.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know him on a personal level. Actually, I worked with him a couple days a week until he relocated to Florida with his protein snacks. But it originally started when I met Greg Valentino. He was out here in Jersey. But we had George on a couple of weeks ago. I want to try to get Greg Valentino on.
God, that'd be cool.
Oh, that'll be interesting and fun.
That's the intro.
I might choke on my words because forget my name or whatever. Be starstruck.
Right. Yeah.
But no, that'd be exciting.
Oh, he's seen some stuff. He has some stories, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, man. We listen to their stories on RX Muscle for sure.
Right.
Between him and Lee Priest.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah. It's awesome. But hey, so now getting back to Lee Priest, so who's secretly getting ready for the Masters Mr. Olympia right now?
I don't think he has an intention on competing.
Okay, did you see recent pictures of Branch Warren? Is he just staying like that just for the hell of it? I mean,
good.
Huh?
I don't. He's not. He is smaller than he was when he's competing. I don't know.
Did you see the picture where he showed? And it was supposed to be recent, where he's showing his thighs recently, and they looked. They did a comparison from when he last competed, and
but
they were pretty close there.
I think he's actually about 15, 20 pounds down. Got to remember also, you've seen him by himself. He says that he's down, but he's still looking pretty jacked. I think he's looking jacked, but carrying less weight.
He said he's training like a maniac, you know, like someone that's getting ready for a competition. I mean, I understand he trained hard all the time, but I don't know. And then, you know, Lee Priest has been posting some pictures, and I don't know if you noticed, but like one of his pictures, it looks like he has some deterioration going on in his pec. Like, you know, like the wrestlers used to get,
Yeah,
what's
On what side? On what side? On his right pec or his left pec?
I want to say
is right.
I think it's his right. Yeah, I think it's his right pec.
Well, that's where he had the nerve damage. That's why his arm was downsized.
Ah, okay, that makes sense then. That's why he was showing that one side.
But that's what you can see. His right arm is catching up little by little, but it was definitely he had atrophy from nerve damage.
Right. That makes sense now. Okay.
I think it was a neck injury. I think he had a car accident. I think
it was a car accident. Yeah, it was a back injury too. I think neck and back. I think.
I hope that I know Lee Priest is smart to know that when you make a comeback like he's doing, you better bring it and not look like shit.
Right.
And I'm not saying he's going to, but I'm worried about his right side. I mean,
right, affecting his placing.
If it's not up to par, is he still going to go on stage?
Right, exactly. Kareem Charles
contemplating competing again. I think he's doing this as part of the species nutrition to push the product and everything. This transformation. It's supposed to be the species nutrition transformation kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I don't think that he really has. Everybody's talking about it, but you see him training again and everything, and he's just going along with it. I really don't think he is intending to compete.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm just curious. I know Kareem Charles talked about he's going to get ready for the Masters Olympia if it's going to happen. I'm just curious about
who's
going to compete in it, huh?
Everybody wants him to, but I don't think he really has that intention.
Who, Kareem, or are you talking about Lee Priest?
I'm talking about Lee Priest.
Yeah, I could say with Lee Priest, if I was him, I don't know, especially, for his reputation and, everything. I think if he's having that go on, it'd probably be not a good idea to compete, he's a legend, he doesn't need to prove anything, might hurt his legacy a little bit, kind of like when Flex Wheeler made his comeback, I think that kind of hurt his legacy a little bit too, and his health, who knows, maybe he wouldn't have lost his leg or something, What's that?
The IFBB hasn't lifted his lifetime ban yet. He's still banned for life.
Oh God, that is so ridiculous.
He's still come on already. I mean, I'm sure that if he reaches out, I got a feeling that things could happen, but he is still banned for life from the IFBB.
Right.
I heard the other day that Derek Lunsford wants to compete in the Open.
Oh boy!
He did an interview just recently, and people are talking about how big he is. There's no way he can get down to 212 again and be at full like he is right now, and he'd be so flat, And so he told everybody what he's going to do. I didn't watch the interview, so I don't know, but he talks about it in the interview. I think it's on his YouTube channel or something. I would say he'd have to do it, man. I mean, especially when he was compared up there on stage on that guest posing, standing next to, what do you call it, Big Ramy and, all those guys, even to Brandon Curry. And I mean, width-wise, that guy's got insane width. I mean, and he's got a classic flow, even though he's massive, he's got such a classic flow to him, and he poses like, a little bit like a classic bodybuilder too. And he's got that vacuum and smaller waist. Man, like I heard something about Jay Cutler was, predicting if he was to do the, open bodybuilding that he'd be in the top 3 for sure.
Top 3. What Derek said was that, well, our plan is the 212, and we're prepping for the 212. But then with a little bit of a smirk, it was like, but we'll see where it goes. And me and Hani, so he really wasn't 212. That's it. That's what we're doing, and everything else is coming after. He left the door open. I told Chris, I think whether he does a 212 or not, he still should try to jump into an open show and just
what's
see
his
how it goes, and then decide. I don't think he can. He can make 212. Anybody can make the weight, but I don't. I think he's going to
the
lose.
body? Yeah.
I think he's going to lose everything.
What's his current weight, anyways? Does anybody know?
He
Right
said
now?
he said in that interview that he was 255. He was fluctuating between 255 and 260 when he was at that show.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I'd say
I just
I'd say he looks very comparable to Nick Walker.
right, yeah. Even size and
mainly
legs,
mainly because of his freaky waist.
yeah. And he's got more of a V taper, you know. He's got wider shoulders, wider lats.
A lot more V taper than him.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Sorry guys, I gotta take a phone call, but I'll thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, hey, it's good talking to you, Josh.
Nice to actually meet you, Jeff.
Yeah, you too, man.
Yeah. Well,
hey, I've been watching some of your videos.
What's that?
I've been watching some of your videos, man. You got good training for them.
Thank you.
You get good intensity, man. I like your videos.
Appreciate that, Jeff. Likewise,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, right on.
All right, guys. You have a good day.
All right.
Yeah. Take it easy.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, they were when Lunsford was sitting next to Nick, they were eating like sushi or something like that. I saw this picture of them. Dude, Derek looks just as big as him.
Right. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Yeah. I don't know. You know, Nick is moving some weights. I've seen him do 160-pound dumbbells, overhead shoulder presses today. I was like, holy shit, man.
For strict form and like 15 reps or something.
God, that's crazy, man. Yeah.
He's
got really good form, though. I will say that about a lot of the pros. He's strict. You could tell, you know, he's careful when he moves weight, you know.
Yeah.
With Dorian didn't use kind of weight that Ronnie used, but Dorian used big weight. But look at the form that he used. Kind of reminds me of Dorian, the way he moves.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I agree for sure. Yeah. Hey, what about Keon Pearson? What's going to happen with him?
He's going. I didn't. When he said he wanted to go back to classic, I was like, no. He needs to be 212, and it looks like it's back to the 212.
Right. Yeah. And he's just got to fix that stomach separation issue he had from eating too much food. You know, these guys get that all the time because they're blowing out their guts because they're trying to take in so much food to put on so much weight faster. You know.
Yeah. That happened to me. That happened to me even.
Right.
Really, he just never really. He didn't bring the conditioning at 212 that he needs to bring. I think
they talked about his
with his shape and structure. If this guy nails his conditioning, I think he is extremely dangerous.
Yeah, he's right there. You know, I think he can be right up there in the top 3 in the 212. You know, as far as you know everything, but you know, because you know he hasn't been around as much, so I don't think he's going to get the favor, even if he comes in maybe his best. I still feel like they're just going to kind of, you know, because he's kind of been, you know, oh, I'm having personal issues, I got to take time off, you know, just kind of, you know. Sean
Clarita, last year's Olympia, he was he was up almost 5 pounds from the previous Olympia, even though he lost to Derek. He 180. I saw a recent picture of him. I think he was 201, 202.
Yeah, I seen it too. Yeah,
above what he was on the Olympia stage, and his conditioning looked pretty damn good. He wasn't too far off from.
No,
I couldn't even imagine him putting on more muscle, but it looks like he's on the way.
Right. Exactly. No, I agree. That guy, man, I don't know how he can put on any more muscle on his frame. It's just unbelievable. The amount of muscle that he has in his thickness. He's just so.
And he hasn't blown himself out. He hasn't blown his weight out.
No, he hasn't. No, which is crazy in itself. And he moves some heavy weight. He trains hard. That guy.
I think inch for inch, he's probably as big as Ronnie was in 2003.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, he reminds me of a miniature Ronnie.
And like I said, by that time, Ronnie's waist started to
blow out,
come out a bit. But Sean's remains real tight. You know what? No knock on Derek. I think Sean should have retained the title last year.
Well, it was his conditioning. Derek wanted on shape alone is what he wanted on. His conditioning was good enough to win, but if you compared the two conditions, I would say that Sean was a lot. He was more crisp and more dialed in than Derek. And fuller, probably a little bit fuller.
He bought excuse me, as short as he is, he brought a crazy freak factor to that show.
Right. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. Any other show, he would have been a winner. Maybe even in bodybuilding, open, But it's crazy. It's going to be an interesting Olympia this year with all the different, with classic physique, 212 and bodybuilding. It's just going to be, I can't even imagine the competition for classic physique that's coming. It's insane.
Yeah, there's a couple that Ramon Dino. Is he Russian or is he
Raband? Yeah, I know who you're talking about. What's that guy's name? They call him Dino. What do they call it? The horse MD. Horse MD.
You got that? He's either from Russia or maybe the Ukraine.
Oh, you're talking about yours?
Yeah.
Urs is what his name is. Yeah.
Okay.
The Miracle Bear guy. The kid.
Yeah. That's it.
He looks like a younger version of Dennis Wolf.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, he looks great, that guy, man, and he came up fast. It was just crazy how he just came out of the woodwork and placed fourth his first year in the Olympia against a tough lineup, and then he's won every show he's entered in now, even besides the Olympia,
All three positions are going to be compelling in their own way.
Yeah, they really are. Yeah, I agree.
And Nick Walker, I agree with Dave Palumbo when he made the statement, do not be surprised if he walks out in December, leaves the stage. Olympia.
Well, the thing is, Big Rami's got to be careful of is what happened with Ronnie is, these guys always train on the edge so much that, they can pinch a nerve or, pull something or, and then have some atrophy happen, on a muscle and start to distort their physique because their waist gets blown out or, and they don't have that youth on their side anymore, like Nick Walker does. And they have better skin and, there's a number of things. So, yeah, so it's hard to say, it depends on how healthy, Rami can stay in the off season,
It's like Jay Cutler in 2008. The word was that if he didn't bring it, he wasn't going to walk away the champion. What I find very interesting,
Yeah.
month or two after the Olympia, I heard Dennis James in the interview. I forget who was interviewing him. Said that he would not have had a problem if Hardy was not to win for Rami. Now this is your own corner saying this, and he said on his podcast that aired just the other day. He had Jay Cutler, Chris Cormier. I think there was somebody else on there with them. I can't remember. He was at Tommy right after the Olympia. If you bring in this package next year, you're not winning. This is his own corner. So,
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey guys, I got to get off the phone here. Good chatting with you guys again. I'd definitely love to do it again. Yeah, it'll be good.
Thanks for joining us, Jeff.
I was getting ready to wrap it up anyway because I want to get some cardio in. Why don't you stay in for the wrap up? All right.
Every time we get off, he's got to get his cardio in.
Well, yeah, I do my cardio every night. I'm neurotic about it. All right,
yeah, that's good.
if you're watching this on my channel, Muscle Central, make sure you go over to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm sorry.
Vampire Slayer?
I'm tired also. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's Chris's channel. When you're over there, check out all his great content. Make sure you subscribe. If you're watching it on Buffy the Iron Slayer, promote Muscle Central, my channel. Check out my channel. Make sure you subscribe. Jeff, it's been great having you back. We hope we can have you as much as we can. It's fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Chris, Jeff, you want to plug anything?
What's that?
Do you want to plug anything? How people?
You can follow me on Instagram on Pacemaker Freak, or you can follow me on Facebook under Jeffrey Schneider. You can find me there also. Those are the best places to get a hold of me, or just go in and check out my content. I'll be getting ready for a show early November, so I'll be plugging more stuff on there as I'm getting ready for the show also. So,
are you available for personal training?
Yeah, absolutely. I have my own personal training.
Okay. So that's
personal
how you get
training studio. Yeah, I can do online coaching. I can do in-person personal training. If you're capable to come to my studio and train with me, absolutely.
Chris, you want to close us out?
I just appreciate everyone for joining. Jeff, Josh, and of course Michael. And it was fun talking with everybody. And appreciate everyone else tuning in. And can't wait to do the next one.
Yeah, definitely.
Like this, and it's been fun, fellas.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, enjoy your cardio and enjoy the rest of your day, Chris. And
enjoy my eggs and peanut butter or almond butter.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Right on. Okay,
all right,
man.
guys.
Talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right. Good night.
All right.